Welcome day one of my Workbench video. I am super excited to start this. I think it's truly going to be something amazing and I hope that you watch the whole thing. I'd like to explain how this all came about and the thought process behind it and where I plan on going with these videos. I'm sure most of you have heard of a little YouTuber called Ryan Trahan. Well, a while ago, he made a series called 50 States in 50 Days. I really enjoyed that, and it kind of hit home and gave me some ideas as a woodworker. The reason for that is, all woodworking channels, including myself, have to skip steps. We can't show everything and we can't explain everything. The reason being, you just can't show it all. The videos would be way too long. No one wants to watch a 24-hour long video. No one. A while ago, I asked you guys what you want to see in a woodworking channel. Number one answer was learning how to. So with this series, I can show you from the start of planning till we're finished putting the finish on. The second most important thing that you guys answered was the type of video. I totally get this. No one wants to watch an art desk video if you don't draw. So I decided on doing a workbench video. I know firsthand they do very well. They are also one of the first things you should build if you're getting into woodworking. I also believe they are a staple of any shop. Everyone needs a workbench. I currently have somewhat of a workbench. I have my Outfeed table / workbench and my miter station. The problem is, anytime I need to use my table saw or my miter saw, I have to move it. So I'm gonna build a dedicated workbench. Today's video, I'm going to show you how I come up with my ideas for the builds, go through some of the steps, show you how I quickly sketch it up, and then I'm going to actually show you and teach you some of the ways you can use SketchUp. And that's why I have to film this video in advance. Today is September 23rd. This will be releasing on October 6th, and then on October 6th, I will actually start the workbench build. I've worked all my schedules around starting October 6th. I have up to 3 weeks, shouldn't take that long, to get this bench done. Every single day working on it, every single day editing it and releasing it the next day. There could be things that happen that make it so that I can't release the next day, but I'm going to try my hardest to actually make that happen. Sorry for that long-winded intro. I wanted to do that to get everything on the table, to explain everything so that every video going forward, I can just get started. So with all that said, let's actually get started. So in every single project, you're going to have certain limitations, things that you'd like to have and things that you must have. I've written down a few of my must-haves and like-to-haves. I'll quickly go through these so that you understand how I will be coming up with my design. The first one is fits. Obviously, it needs to fit in the space. There is a caveat to that in my situation, and that has to also do with the store lumber. This is the area that the workbench will be going. It's going to be replacing this, and the reason for that is this is too low and it's too rickety. It's had better days. It's time to get rid of it. The caveat to the storing wood and the space, I'm going to be getting rid of this first section of wood storage. The main reason for that is this is only 4 feet of used space. The back half is just storing junk that I'm just too lazy to put away properly. So once I do that after this project, I'm hoping that I have enough room to work on both sides. So that's where the fits comes in. The second one was wood storage. Because I'm getting rid of this section, I need more storage. Also, 2x4s. I have them everywhere and I'm always having to move them and I'm always tripping over them. It'd be nice to have a place to actually put them. The next thing is multi-level. The reason for that is because when I'm working on a cabinet or something, it can be up to here. So I need a step stool or something to drill it, or it needs to lay flat, which sometimes just isn't optimal. Next thing is be able to move. A shop is never complete. That is one thing I've learned. Sometimes benches, etc. are in the way and it's convenient just have it on wheels. Easy access power is another must-have. Believe it or not, several of my tools still have power cords. They're not all cordless. With this Outfeed table, I have the power right here, but it's underneath, so I have to look underneath to plug it in. It gets kind of irritating sometimes, so I'm going to make it simpler. So one of the last things, and probably the second most important to me, is that it's modular. I don't want to just lay it out with drawers and cabinet doors, etc., because my build preferences change over time and my needs change over time. So I want to be able to make it fit for what I'm doing at that time. I don't want just a bunch of storage. I can put that anywhere in the shop. That is not a problem, but I want these to be able to store the tools that I'm using at that location. Okay, let's quickly go through my like to haves. The first one being a cutting strip. What I mean by that is a strip of wood that is disposable. You would use it for your track saw, your skill saw, drilling, etc., where you can cut into it and easily replace that section. That'd be nice to have. That way you don't need to set up styrofoam or sawhorses, etc. So we're going to try to make that happen. Another thing that I'd like to have is a replaceable top somehow. I plan on still using this workbench that we're building to stain, paint, drill, basically destroy. That is different than my outfeed table and my miter station. Both of those I want to keep pretty much immaculate. On this, however, I know I'm going to destroy it. So it'd be nice to be able to replace the top whenever it gets too banged up. A nicer thing to have would be an easy way to protect the surface. I'm not sure how I go about this, probably some sort of wax paper, etc. That'd be nice, as well as a replaceable top, because you never know. Something that's important to me is that it looks similar to my outfeed table and my miter station. They don't need to look exact, but I'd like to keep the same aesthetic. And the very last thing that I'd like to have is it to look good. The only reason why this matters, I'll be honest, is because it's on YouTube. If it was just me, I'd choose function over aesthetics every single time. With that all out of the way, let's start sketching. Here's 2 of the 3 drawings I came up with. I'm only showing 2 because the third one, my ideas are grander than what's actually possible to build. This is basically what I was planning in my head before I even started this project. But I already have something like this, and I don't see the point in making 2 of them when I could build something more to my needs. However, this design would be great for people with a small shop that still need an outfeed table and a workbench. This is the one that I'm actually going to build. Both projects meet all my needs, but this is more customized to what I want, and I think it'll be interesting. I haven't seen anybody else build anything like this, and I also have a few more surprises up my sleeves to make it even more unique. So now that I know which one I'm going to build, now we can 3D model it. So why don't I show you guys the basics of SketchUp? So now that I have the sketch done and I know which one I'm going to build, I'm going to 3D model it on SketchUp. I'm going to show you guys the basics so you can get up and running and build a project. First, you'll need to download SketchUp. Once you do that, there is a paid and a free version. For most people, the free version will work fine. However, there are some restrictions. I'm not sure of all of them, but I know you can't use like cut lists and those kind of things. Once you have it downloaded, you just need to pick which measurements you're going to use. For me, centimeters. So you just click up here, give it a second. Mine looks like this. Yours may not. You can change it by going to view, I believe, and toolbars. Yeah, and you can pick all different things in here. If I take that away, this disappears. But basically, you can set it up how you want. So now I'm going to show you the basics of using this. First thing you need to know how to do is to move the screen around. On your mouse, in the middle, there should be a wheel. If you press that down, it should give you this symbol. Now, if you move the mouse around, you'll see the screen moving. Now, if you scroll the wheel away from you, you should zoom in. And when you scroll it towards you, you should zoom out. So once you know how to move your camera around, next thing you'll need to do is build an actual object. So we'll go over here to the rectangle. We click on that and you bring it over here. You will see this symbol. With SketchUp, you click and let go. You do not click and drag. So you click, let go, and then you see this. That's building the object vertical. This is building the object horizontal. If you look on the bottom right here, you will see measurements. And the nice thing is you don't need to drag it to the exact dimension that you need. All you do is type in the numbers. So let's go with a 3x3 or 7.6 centimeters. So 7.6, comma, 7.6, enter. That is 3x3. See over here? Make sure you use a comma. You don't need spaces. I don't think it harms it, but it's just quicker without spaces. So there's your object. That is your first object. It is a flat plane with no depth to it at all. So the next thing you need to know how to do is make this object 3D. So if you go over here to the push-pull tool, click on that. If you drag it over here, you'll see dots on it. So if you now click on it and pull back, again, click and let go, pull back, it'll give you a dimension. Right now it's 105 centimeters. So let's go with 8 feet, which I believe is somewhere around 244 centimeters. So let's go with that. There you go. Now we have an 8-foot 3x3. So with the object right now, Yes, it's 3D, but you can't really do anything with it because it's not a component or grouped together. So each line is basically individual. So if you go over to the move feature and you click on anything here, it'll just distort it, right? Because each face is its own and each line is its own. So in order to make this so that you can work with it and move it around, you just highlight it all by selecting the arrow button. Once you've done that, you just right click and then you can either make it a group where it will work, but it will change every single object that you copy and paste with it. I like to make it a component. I recommend getting into the habit of making a component. You can label each piece and you can also use it with a cut list. It's the only way that I know of that you can make a cut list. Again, I believe only the paid version can make a cut list. Clicking to make a component. Let's just say this is a rail. Click. There you go. Now, when I go to move the object, it moves as a group. This is its own object, like a 3x3x8. Next thing I want to show you how to do is removing material out of the object that you created. Let's say you need a dado or a mortise or something along those lines. So first thing, because this is now a component, you need to highlight the whole thing by pressing 3 times. Once it has this outline and everything's highlighted, you're good to go. Now you go over your rectangle tool. Now let's say that we want to remove a section to insert a 3x3. So what you do is you go over to your rectangle tool. Let's say we want it on the bottom here. So you go here, you click and let go, you drag. And it doesn't matter how big you make this at all, as long as you're going the right direction. If you want to go this way, you need to go that way. If you want to go this way, you need to go that way. It does not matter how far or what your measurements are. Once you've done that, you can put in your measurement. For me, it's going to be 7.6, 7.6. Now I have that. So once you have that, you can press the push-pull tool again right here. And now if you click it, you remove material from it. So same thing, you can add or remove material. Once you decide, are you adding or removing, doesn't matter your measurement. Again, let's say I want to remove 2 centimeters. You just press 2, enter, there we go. That is now done. I removed a section so that I can add my 3x3 into the bottom of this. So I will super quickly go through that again. Also, there are shortcuts for all of these. I recommend turning them into your own. Mine would be different than yours because I have made it my own. Some might be the same, but basically R is rectangle for me. Now I want to add my post to this. All I do is go over here, click over here, and now I can just drag it to the other point over here. Done. Push pull tool, drag it down. And let's say this thing is going to be 1 meter tall, so 100 centimeters. Done. Yes, I realize I'm upside down, just a little weird. So there we go. I've added my 3x3 to that for a brace. Again, this won't be able to do anything. You can't move it, it'll just distort it. For quick undos, if you make a mistake, it's Control Z. Okay, so to make this a component just like this one, triple click it, right click, make a component. In here, let's go with leg. Done. Now it is a component. So this is all you really need to know to build basic objects in woodworking. I'm not going to show you how to do round objects and those kind of things. It gets a little more complex. There are videos on it, but yeah, this is all you need to know. I'll give you one last thing that I use all the time, which is the tape measure right here. If you use this, you can measure exact distances. All you do is go to where you want to measure from. Let's say here, and I want to go up, let's say 1 foot, which I believe is around 30 centimeters. Click. Now you see this little dot here. Let's say I needed to make another cutout. So you go triple click, rectangle, and then let's say 7.6 again. So you click on that dot, and then you go, let's say 2 by, 7.6. There we go. Push pull. I need to completely remove that. Done. See, I've moved it right from 1 foot or 30 centimeters. So once you've done what you need to do with the measurement, you can delete that mark. Just click on it and then press delete. Tape measure mark's gone. Let's say you're going to build a plan. You will want to know this. Basically, it's this object, which gives you dimensions. You can press here, let's say from this point to the bottom. You need to know what it is. You click and then you pull out. So we know that's 30 centimeters. Let's say from this point to this point, you click, pull out, that's 60.4. And then let's say you need to know this point to this point, same thing. So that's what you would use if you wanted to show people the dimensions for, let's say, a plan, or even for yourself, just as a quick visualization. So yeah, don't let SketchUp scare you. It's actually quite easy. You just need some practice. There's only a few things that you have to know at the beginning, and when you need something else, you can learn that individual thing. So now it's my turn to build a 3D model of the workbench that I actually plan on building. So in every single video, I want to give an interesting fact about woodworking, as well as a true or false about myself. This interesting fact is kind of scary. Did you know that the IARC, which stands for International Agency for Research on Cancer, has different categories for carcinogens, category 1 being the worst? It has things like smoking, sunlight, alcohol, and processed meats. Well, you can add sawdust to that list. Frequent exposure to wood dust can cause cancers of the throat, nose, and sinuses. Isn't that crazy? Guess I better start wearing my mask more. I would like to say thank you for all the support that I've gotten over these last few years. You guys have been amazing. I hope you all enjoyed this video and will stick around for the series. I think it's going to be interesting. I plan on showing you every single step along the way, alternate ways of doing this, but the big picture, this is going to be geared towards beginners. I plan on showing that you can build this through every single step with just a drill and a skill saw. If you found this video helpful and you're interested in this series, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. So now it's time for the true or false. Is it true that I have a background in carpentry? What I mean by that is, have I had a job that relates to carpentry? That could be framing, it could be cabinetry, or even trim. Doesn't really matter, but have I had a background in carpentry? Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for day 2.